In case you've been living under a rock, the interwebs are full of these stories called lost episodes, in which people claim they found a DVD or VHS tape that contains eerie, sometimes even paranormal stuff that changed their lives for the worse forever. Well, I have something to tell you. They're all fake! They're lies! Or at least that's what I thought. Until one of them happened to me. Yes, me. The great Richard the 17th. I'm a direct descendant of King Richard the Third, you see. He had a love child with an eagle. This is why I have wings. Regardless, allow me to continue my story, if I may. Thank you for being such a polite audience. It means a lot to me. Yes, I, the Great Eagle, found a VHS tape. I was an intern at the James Avery Garbage Collection Company in Provo, Utah. I was searching an inner city recycling bin to check if someone threw non recyclables into the recyclables. I care very deeply about the environment, and this is one of the many little ways in which I feel I can make a difference. Some people call Nickelodeon's The Big Help, but me, I really do help. Hmm. Anyway, I found a VHS tape in the trash, lying next to an empty pretzel sticks box and the casing of a pack of grape Kool-Aid jammers. The lost episode of Deal or No Deal, it said. I went to Goodwill and bought a VHS player and popped in the tape when I got home. I was happy at the time that it was still in working condition. Little did I know that I'd learn a lesson or two about what's fake and what's real. First of all, Deal or No Deal host Howie Mandel didn't look like his usual self. Not that he's a very normal person, but I digress. He had a fuzzy Hitler mustache, his eyes were bloodshot, and his chin looked like it'd been dipped in some sort of red and brown liquid. I guess you could say he looked disheveled, but I'm not sure what that word really means. He definitely looked quite unhappy, though, like he could murder someone. I had the feeling Howie Mandel was about to murder someone, but I was probably just being presumptuous. Still, he may have wanted to wipe his chin. As for the contestant, he was an African American male in his mid 20s or so, I'm guessing, named Reynold. He told some story about how his nickname is Reynoldo because he was famous among his friends for swiftly achieving orgasm no matter what he was thinking about. Well, I didn't find this introduction to be very family friendly or relevant to the Deal or No Deal program, but I continued watching anyway. That was yet another mistake I made. I'd like to try case 23, please. Is that your final answer? Howie inquired, ripping off Pat Sajak. Shit, I'm sorry. I mean Regis Philbin from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? He had a stack of bills in one hand and brass knuckles on the other. They seemed to be covered in some kind of red substance matching whatever it was on his chin. Man, guys should have better eating etiquette or some shit. I don't know what that's about. Well, hey, something good and clean and fun happened for once in this episode. Reynoldo had won $576. I thought it was kind of an arbitrary number, and not a very high one at that, but he screamed and squealed, though the audience didn't clap at all. At first, I figured Ray's reaction was out of sheer joy to winning all that money, so I felt very happy for the guy, you know? Who wouldn't be happy if they won money on a nationally broadcasted game show? Looking cool to the world? Unfortunately. Well, that was when I realized there was something else going on. Instead of the usual hot girls I hired to display the cases, they were all skeletons. They didn't look like they were in costume or anything. They literally looked like skeletons. I felt a little bothered, but I popped a Haribo frog into my mouth and continued watching the tape. The gelatinous goodness almost made me forget that I was watching some less than stellar television programming. I'd like to donate all of my winnings to charity, Reynoldo said with a smirk. What a guy. And I'd like for you to just pick a fucking number, Howie starkly responded. Reynoldo paused. He was clearly suffering from some very serious anxiety. I I have an option to talk to the banker and not continue, right? I mean, those kids, they could really use the money. Well, that was when Howie Mandel really flipped his shit. He threw the stack of bills in one of the skeleton lady's faces, and he walked up so closely to Renaldo that he had to have felt Howie's breath on him. And you smell like a penguin with fetal alcohol syndrome, Howie explained. Now just choose a fucking case. Oh dear. Cursing and insensitivity. I spit out the Haribo frog I'd been previously enjoying. Only the frog's soggy, saliva-drenched legs remained. I ran up to my VHS player and attempted to shut it off, but the coax cables didn't want to give way. I guess I could have just hit the power button then, but the thought didn't occur to me. I was just too scared, I guess. 11. 11. Final answer, Howie. Final answer? Howie told the skeleton to open the case, and she did. I closed my eyes and I sighed. Then I opened them and chewed my fingernails. I simply wasn't prepared for what happened next. Highly realistic gore dripped out of the case and onto the floor. Howie's eyes rolled back in his head, and he started to slow walk like a zombie. He performed various dances in a zombie-like fashion: the belly dance, ballet, the Charleston square dances, even disco. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. Reynold emptied his pocket so fast that it must have been instinct. He threw chocolate-covered pretzels, a pencil sharpener, a collection of marbles, and jacks at Howie. Howie tripped and fell and held up a sign that said screwball like they do in the cartoons. Well, that was when Ronaldo and Howie Mandel just vaporized from the screen. The screen immediately went to darkness. I was scared, but I waited for something else to happen before assuming the tape had run out of footage. Now, you know about the banker in Deal or No Deal? The guy in the shadows pulling all the strings who we're not allowed to see? You could definitely hear ominous laughing in the background, but that was it. Not even this time could we catch a glimpse of who this guy truly was. Just when I was ready to get up and turn the damn tape off, a shadow figure appeared on the screen. Slowly he was revealed to be wearing a uniform, kind of like the Foot Clan from the older Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoons. In a deep, throaty voice, I heard the following. He didn't murder anyone. That man was a whore. He had it coming. He should have kept it in his pants. Okay. There was a pause. 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to select the final answer of your own slutty fucking life. Will you go for the deal or no deal? You have a chance to survive. Make it time! Well, that was it. I had enough of this tape and its lack of making any sense at all. I felt really bad about all of the dead girls and whoever they killed and packed into a suitcase. But enough was enough, and I was ready to call the police. I remembered the power button and I hit it. No, I'm not going to tell you that some sort of mythical or paranormal force kept my VHS player from being turned off. It turned off. Probably because it was a shitty product I bought at Goodwill for 25 cents, but whatever, it turned off. With that, I thought I was out of the woods. I went to my old-fashioned candlestick phone and prepared to speed dial the cops. However, it turned out that I couldn't tell the forest from the trees. I turned around and I was face to face with a confrontation beyond all horror. Hello again, you little midget with a jerry curl. That's right. Bob Saget was in my house. I don't believe we've ever met before. Get the fuck off my property before I call a nice friendly police officer to escort you? Bob Saget stuck out a hairy horse arm, hoof and all. He shook his head in great displeasure. Enough. I told you that we would all turn into horses. And what did you do? You stopped being one of the we. And beyond all that, you stole my shit. My fucking VHS tape. And my Kool-Aid jammers and pretzel rods. It's all over. Michelle. I tried to flap my wings, but some way, somehow, they didn't do anything. I tried slashing Bob Saget with my claws. He simply laughed. He proceeded to pick me up with his grubby horse paws and slam me to the ground for what felt like 576 times. Wait a minute. That was it. 576. Stop, Bob. Stop. Stop, please. Bob Saget stopped beating me and held my bleeding, barely conscious body to the ground. What is it, Stephanie? 576! It was in the tape! And you're here, and you're a horse, and... I think you finally get it now. Come along, little pony. Bob Saget picked me up off the ground. He helped me take off my clothes, and he washed the blood out of them. He nursed me back to health, preparing delicious Campbell's soup for me whenever I was feeling hungry. Now, don't be fooled into thinking all of this simply concerns me, because it's about all of us. Every last person in existence in our universe. Where are we now, and who's to say? I believe I'm riding along the desert sunset in this sexy convertible, with Bob Saget and his horse-based companions. I believe we're heading for a bigger and better tomorrow. I believe that man, horse, or eagle, we're all in this together, and that some things are worth much more than money. Here we are every day, in our safe suburban homes, watching TV shows about people winning money. But who are we? And what do we really want? Greed must not go without punishment. And those who truly understand what life is about will truly get it. The rewards of love and life themselves will be all theirs. And that's when they took me to the mental ward.